Shani was 26 years old when she died. She was living at Stoke Poges and was sharing a house with two friends. On the day of her death, we know she spent that day cutting the grass at her house. She loaded those grass cuttings into black bin liners and put those into her car, which was her pride and joy, a black Cavalier. And we know that she left the house with the grass cuttings round about 6 p.m. that day. Her car was last seen in the lay-by next to Taplow Lake between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Shani wasn't seen in that car at that time, but when the car was eventually searched, the empty grass cutting bag were found within the car. Shani's body was found the next day in the early evening. Her legs were tied together with a tow rope, her hands were tied behind her back with a jump lead, and she had a gag around her mouth. As is normal, a pathologist was called to the scene. He attended, and it was his first impression and opinion that he believed that Shani had committed suicide. During the post-mortem, no mouth swabs were taken from Shani. These days, that is a standard practice, and mouth swabs will be taken during all post-mortems. Despite the initial opinion of the pathologist, Thames Valley Police did investigate Shani's death very thoroughly. A full murder investigation took place, and that unfortunately led to no one being arrested at that time.
We had obtained profiles from the cloth, which came from a man, and we could say that those profiles actually came from semen on the cloth. And we'd also got results from the bra taping with the same profile on the bra taping, and again that profile was from a man. The profile was sent to the UK DNA database, which holds the profiles of millions of convicted offenders, and the database revealed that there was a match with the profile that we'd obtained, and that match was to Donald Robertson. The match was 1 billion times more likely if the DNA was from Mr. Robertson rather than if none of the DNA came from Mr. Robertson. So that was in relation to the cloth. The result from the bra taping was slightly different, and in that case the figure was 27 million times more likely.
So in June 2021, Donald Robertson was arrested and interviewed. For the vast majority of the time he went no comment. We know that he was a active angler and was asked whether or not he'd ever been to Taplow Lake.
Have you ever been to the lake in Taplow?
No, not fishing.
You ever been fishing there?
But have you been to that lake for other reasons?
No comment.
Robertson jumped over the fence, obviously surprised this young girl. She tried to run away. He ran after her, grabbed hold of her. He stated that he had a weapon. She was then manhandled through the fence onto the school playing field and was then made to take her clothes off, and she was raped. When we did research in relation to Robertson following his arrest for the Shani case, we found the 1981 rape, saw that Robertson was a suspect, got additional new forensic tests carried out, and from those tests we managed to get a DNA profile which again matched Donald Robertson to the tune of 1 in a billion. Donald Robertson has an horrendous list of previous convictions recorded against him. The large majority of them are for serious sexual assaults. He's a man that spent the majority of his adult life in prison.
It's always really satisfying to get a result in a case like this where the work that we've done leads to a case being resolved and leads to closure for the friends and family in a case, and makes us feel that we've been able to contribute to seeing justice being done.
The Major Crime Review team are working on a number of cases at the moment. Anybody that's got any information in relation to any historic case, I'd urge them to please make contact with us. Any fresh evidence or information will be looked at, developed if possible, and hopefully will be used to try and bring suspects before the courts.